Good afternoon. It is Tuesday, December 1st. Welcome back to the garden. To quote Shakespeare, to cover or not to cover. 'Tis nobler to freeze or not to freeze. Well, that was my attempt anyhow. We've had quite a roller coaster with our temperature. It's been freezing in the morning. Today it got up into the mid-50s, but as the sun is going down, it is cooling off quickly. With our plastic over our plants, we run the risk of cooking them in the daytime. But we got to do something. So let's take a look at what we've done. Now my idea of a cold frame is if we had a structure that was a raised bed and we had a frame over the top of it, it would be more permanent. I want to be able to move the crops around, and so this is a temporary cold frame, and it's pretty easy and it's very inexpensive. We use some straw bales, we got an old frame and some sheet plastic. We can just lay it down, and that keeps them covered, and then raise it up when it warms up. For this cold frame we have lettuce and beets. As we harvest some beets, we're going to plant some cabbage in here. This is just propped up with a few sticks. We can just set it down once it gets cold. We got the bok choy, some radishes, the beets, the kale, and the lettuce, and the bales are pretty close together. We just rolled up the plastic, set it on the end of the cold frame, and as we need to, we can just unroll it, and that should keep everything nice and warm. Our temporary greenhouse is just some frames that we had that we covered with a couple sheets of plastic. As you can see, there's plenty of room to walk in here, and the peas and the lettuce are still doing okay. It's only going to be 35 degrees tomorrow morning, but then it's supposed to snow tomorrow evening. Get him, get him. Oh, good boy. So when to cover or when not to cover, you run the risk of cooking things, but you really are going to freeze it out if you don't get prepared. So we're prepared, and we'll see what we get. Radishes are supposed to be able to go to 25 degrees. It must have got a little colder than that. Some of these edges look kind of frozen. I did go ahead and put a screen over these radishes, and then we covered them with leaves. Well, I went ahead and pulled the screen back, and when it cools off, we'll lay the screen back down and cover it back over with leaves. And this is why we can't let Riley alone in the garden, because he'll just plow right through everything. He sure does like the deep mulch though. But he's got his little dirt patch. I cannot stress to you how much better the plants do if they've got a drink of water before it goes into a real cold snap. I know it sounds counterintuitive, but they really do a lot better if they have some water.
You gonna help water? You gonna help water? Good boy. Good boy.
Hey. So from me and Riley, go ahead and take care of your garden. And until next time, remember, take care of yourself, take care of your family, and God bless you.
Good boy.
Come on, let's plant.
Let's go plant garden.